What's going on? My name is Shaked Bartal, the Sports Guy Show. In a second from now, Mr. Bull is going to join me and we are going to break down the Carolina Panthers 2026 schedule. Going to make our prediction win, loss. Which games will the Panthers win? Which game will they lose? Will they make the playoffs? Will they win back to back NFC South champ? Or will they just win one game, two games? All of that, ladies and gentlemen, you are about to find out any second from now. As soon as Bo logged in and we will start the show, entertain you guys, talk about the NFL, Carolina Panthers, and you'll come Bo. What's going on, Bo? How you doing tonight?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing fantastic, doing fantastic. Hopefully you share the stream. So anyway, so couple of weeks ago, last show, yours truly predicted 3 to 4 prime times games. So apparently the media did watch the show. So NFL for doing that. But anyway, I'm looking at the schedule and my initial take, I know it's the first place teams and all of that, but honestly, I'm not terrified of this schedule. And the reason I'm not so terrified of this schedule is because of how it breaks down. And yeah, I don't like it that the bye week is in week 5, but I'm looking at lot out 4 out of 5 games. Final regular season is at home. That is typically not something we have. Last year it wasn't the case, and yet we won the South fair and square. I'm looking at the beginning of this season, home opener. It's been a long time since week 1 we had a home opener. And then the other thing that doesn't terrify me, two things. Number one, we only played 2 road games back to back. Some teams, like the Jags, well, playing in Europe, they play a lot of road games per se, even though they are their own team. Their own base is Jacksonville. So that is number one. The other thing is we are the least traveling team this season. We don't have to travel to the West Coast like other teams. I truly believe all of that, even though it's a first place schedule, make a massive, massive difference for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I mean it's a it, it came out. I mean it's pretty cool. We got 3 primetime games. I'm glad that we got a Sunday night, we got a Thursday night, we got a so it's spread around a little bit. I know that everyone's kind of complaining about the fact that we got a week 5 bye, but I know I heard Smoke on Kyle Bailey's show bring up that we've had a history of having good seasons from having a bye in the first few weeks. Uh, I think he rattled off some seasons where we were, in the playoffs. I think even one of them might have been the Super Bowl season. So, um, yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, it'd be nice if we had a later bye, but I think we've got enough depth at a lot of these position groups where, we're gonna. It's the NFL. You're gonna have injuries. It's just what happens. But I think that they've got enough depth in certain places to where I'm not overly concerned about catching a real injured up, banged up team by the end of the season. So yeah, it should be fun, man. I mean, there's a lot of good games on there. It is, you know, we look at these teams and you think, what kind of Detroit team are we going to get? What kind of Falcons team are we going to get? Like the late season Falcons? Is Tua going to be? I mean, what kind of Tua are we? There's still a lot of questions, but I have a hard time thinking that it's not at least 14-3.
The same prediction as last season for the
I mean,
for
I might go 15-2. I got to think about this. I haven't came up with my conclusion. I got to go through there, but yeah, I mean, it just it's a question of, do you believe in this defense? I think this defense is going to be a top seven. I won't be surprised if these pass rushers really jump off like you think they could between Phillips and then Leap with Gordon. We stop the run. I mean that'll be huge. It'll be huge for Bryce. It'll be huge for the offense. And then if we have these weapons that we've added, I know it's probably one of the bigger concerns is some of these guys, but we're going to see some leaps there too. So, yeah, man, lots to be excited about.
I agree, and I think the national media is on board with this team being a very good team, potentially even making it to the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying it because I'm a Panthers owner, but here's the truth. Typically, when you win your division, you win 8 games. Even if you win 9 games, how many primetime games do you get? One. Typically one, maybe two at the most. This is the first time since '06, 2000, no, 2016, we are going to have Sunday night football at the bank. We are going to have a Monday night football. We had last season. Going to have a Thursday night football. Thursday night football, ironically enough, the last time we played on Prime was when Frank Reich was the coach against the Bills. A very embarrassing game that we don't want to remember because it was low scoring, like 10-3 game.
Sorry, I had to go puke for a second there. I was remembering that season. Oh my god. Whew.
So, so I agree with you, boy. I mean, if the defense is as good on paper, which of course they have to prove it, everyone has to prove it. If they're as good as we anticipate, top seven, top five, even if the offense is just average, we can win 10, 11, 12 games. Literally, as I'm looking at the schedule, like last season, when I looked at the schedule and I looked at Buffalo, for example, and I said, we are not going to beat Buffalo. It's not a game we're going to beat. I mean, maybe this year Seattle, but Seattle, they lost Kenneth Walker. That is a big time loss for the Seahawks. Also, traditionally, when you win the Super Bowl, the following year, you typically are not as good as you were. I'm not saying the Seahawks will be terrible, but typically that is the case. So when I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm not saying we are going to go undefeated, but literally, I don't see one team right now that I can tell you, Bo, and all the listeners, the replay and all of that and live, that the Panthers are guaranteed to lose. And it's because how good we could be and also our opponents.
Yeah, I mean that's the way the league's set up, right? I mean it's hard to stay on top of that certain level for so long, and you've seen some quarterbacks in this league that they're only as good as the guys around them, only as good as the coaching and playing, all three phases of football. So we still got a lot of questions around these teams. We got questions around whether our team's going to come out, hot out of the gate. I know it's always a discussion in the off season about whether we're going to start the starters during preseason and all that. And, I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to talk about that. But that is going to be a question of how hot can we start? You know what I mean? Because if we dig ourselves in a hole, a lot of the schedule is not going to let up, especially when you get an early rest. So they got to come out sharp. I think that's going to be a big part for this schedule. Is just getting off to a good start and not feeling like we're chasing, and that goes for the games as well. Bryce has had some great comebacks, but I think we want to see Bryce, build up some leads early, and then not have to worry about coming back in the last minute every whatever. It'd be nice to have some more blowouts this season. Um, and I know that Canals is pretty conservative. I know EJ is pretty conservative as well with a lot of their play calls. But if you handle all the little things, I don't protect the football, no stupid turnovers, stuff like that. If we can get off to a real clean start early, I think that'll build confidence and build up for a good season. So, yeah, man. I mean, I'm a
I
believer. So, yeah, I
right,
like that we got three primetime games. I mean, that's pretty cool.
right. Completely agree with you. Couple of things. I think actually Canales is aggressive. I mean, he typically go for it and fall down. Now we should mention Brady Itzik is the offensive coordinator. We have not seen. I mean, Texans games. I don't know if that is count. So technically, we haven't seen what he has. Now I really believe for us fans that is a boring game. We probably won't watch much of it. But the Panthers having extra preseason game, the Hall of Fame game, could really help this team, especially with the new pieces. And still, this team is relatively very young. So basically, if you're Canales, if you're Brad Itzik, Evero, everyone, Dan Morgan, Brad Tillis, and company, you can literally play the starter like first quarter, for example, or a couple of series. The
I
Hall
I
of
don't
Fame
think
game.
I don't think so, Shaked. I think it's the first game out of the box. Typically, I don't think we're going to see our starters play any of that game. I don't think we're going to see them play even a drive. I'd be shocked to see any starters out there on the field. Um, I mean, the position battles that'll be a game for we might see some Haynes King. I don't even think we'll really see any Kenny Pickett. Um, so I would expect that's just my assumption, but maybe I think we got three preseason games now.
Four.
They got four.
Technically,
Okay,
four, because of the Hall of Fame.
okay. Yeah, I mean I could be wrong, but that's what I would think, and you'll start to see I think by the third preseason game, probably a full quarter of football or whatever. But um, that's they have a different philosophy than other coaches out there, and my question is and I know I didn't want to really get into it, but getting off to that hot start is making sure that you're game ready and ready to take those licks. So we'll see.
I So let's go game by game, give prediction and all of that. So week one, at home. The Bears are very good, I think, but I truly believe trading away DJ No More, a veteran wideout, could help them because realistically, the wideout they're pretty young. They're pretty good, but they don't have a veteran leadership at the wide receiver group, and that could be X factor. I think the defense, they lost some players, if I remember correctly, in free agency. TJ Edward with the Panthers. Some thought they might bring him home to Carolina because he's from Charlotte, but I believe he went back to Buffalo, if I remember correctly. So I, I'm leaning Panthers right now, 27-21.
So you're doing score predictions as well. Yeah, I think because it's a home game, because you're going to have fans, are going to be really excited. I think that place is going to be lit. Um, I, 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 bel I believe in Ben Johnson. I think he's a good offensive mind. I think it's going to be a tough game, but I think the fans will be the difference with that energy. So I got Panthers getting a W. I do not have the score prediction yet, but I got Panthers with a W.
Sure, and should be mentioned there's a lot of Bills fans in Charlotte. When I go to the sport bar, I see them. So they have a large fan base in Charlotte. Now, so week two, I be honest with you, I think this is the first up because A, we don't know is it Michael Penix Jr. or Tua at quarterback, and I I think the Falcons have revenge on their mind. because we swept them, we beat them at home 30 to nothing. We beat them at overtime. I I'm going to go Falcons as much as I don't want to, but I just think they have revenge on their mind sooner rather than later. They're going to get it. It's not going to be easy to beat a team three times in a row. So give me the Falcons in a close one, 21-17.
Okay. I got questions around their quarterback room. I got questions around a lot of things that they've got going on. I just not a believe. I believe in our quarterback over theirs. I think that'll be the difference. I've got Panthers winning, starting off the season 2-0.
And then the Browns. So if I'm correct, 1-1, then I think they will beat the Browns in a blowout. In a blowout because Cleveland is a young team. Cleveland is a young team. Who is the quarterback going to be? Watson or Sanders, Shadow? They have young nuclear pieces, but I don't think they're ready yet to contain. So what is helpful for us? I mean, if this game was in December, January, would be snowing, very cold. We all know the Panthers are not used to playing in very cold environment. So I think this is a blowout city for the Panthers, 35-17 win.
Yeah, I think they've got a good defense. They still got Miles Garrett. He's one of the best players in the league. Um, that's gonna be a situation, but at the same time, I like our quarterback room over theirs. I like the weapons that we have. So yeah, I'll take the Panthers again with a W.
Then week 4, the Lions. Week 4, the Lions don't have Aaron Glenn on defense. They don't have Ben Johnson. We don't know which Lions team it is. Is it the Lions from last year or from 2 years ago? I think it's going to be a team in the mix, basically. Like, not as bad as last year, but not as good as 2 years ago. And honestly, this game is a coin flip. Could go either way. It's a Sunday night game. We know the Panthers have a bye week after that. So give me the Panthers because we own the payback to the Lions because they embarrassed Bryce and company 2 or 3 years ago when Bryce was a rookie and all of that. They embarrass us really bad. So give me the Panthers in a close one. 31-27. I think this will be a shootout.
Okay. Last time the Detroit was in Bank of America, we dominated them. Um, I
The frozen thunder game. I
yeah,
froze my body completely.
yeah. You and Mac and Willie, that was a classic. It was a classic game. Yeah, I just, you know, I think that the team still has question marks. We saw they were up and down last season, and I like us at home. I got the Panthers getting another one.
So 4-0 for you, 3-1 for me. Week 5, obviously, we cannot lose, so we skip that. Week 6, Eagles. Which team are we going to face? The team that won the Super Bowl, the team that was last year inconsistent. They really didn't. eh, they really didn't make a lot of moves in free agency, and they lost Jalen Phillips. Revenge game. Even though he left in good terms, still a revenge game. So even though it's a road game and the Eagles fans can be rowdy and crazy, I think Bryce and the Panthers will shut them down. Give me Carolina 24-21, 4-1 for me.
Yeah, I know Bryce had a real close battle with them previously. Xavier Leggett, I think it was a couple of years ago when Xavier Leggett could have caught that ball for a game winner. I like our quarterback room over theirs. You know, I, I know it's in Philly, but I, I like where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and take the Panthers again.
So then, so 5-0 for you, 4-1 for me. Then, if I remember correctly, week 7, it's Tampa Bay at home, if I remember correctly, on top of my head. In that game, we on payback. We on payback to Baker, Todd Bowles. We on payback to Brett Allen.
The
We should
referees
wrestle.
too.
Yeah, Brett Allen, the referee. We on payback. Wrestling him. Take what talk. Rock
Yeah.
bottom. Knock it down. And Cena move and all of that. We on a payback. But Tampa does not have Mike Evans, who used to destroy us. Used to destroy us. They didn't replace him in free agency or in the draft. Carolina with a payback smackdown 27-14.
Yeah, I think you're going to see some aggression from Baker this year, not having Evans. I don't know how connected that locker room is with Todd Bowles. I don't. They're a big question mark in my mind. I mean, I think Bain was a good pick, but it's hard to be some dominant pass rusher, especially in your rookie season. So um, I'm not overly concerned about that. And yeah, I'll take Bryce in our offense over whatever defensive schemes they've got. So yeah, give me the Panthers.
So as far as you go down 7-0, 6-1 for me. Next game, if I remember correctly, it's the Broncos. The Denver Broncos, which I know we don't like Sean Payton, punchable face. I know that they went for it when they should have not, when the game was out of hand. But I think Denver is going to win this. Just have a gut feeling, both time, ball and ball. But this is the bad ball Knicks. So I I just think Denver and punchable face Sean Payton has more experience than Dave Canales, Brad Itzik. Denver also has a pretty good defense. So give me the Broncos in a low scoring, ugly game, 20-17.
I think our defense really steps up on this one. I think by this point in the season, we've got some serious, pass rush. Our defensive line showing to be a real true contender, and then the fact that we've still got two shutdown corners. I expect just big things from this defense this season, but I think this is one of those games where they go out and win a close one. Give me the Panthers.
Which I think I might have skipped one of the Saints game. I'm pretty sure I probably skipped one of the Saints games because I know we played them week 10. So I think week 6 is the road game. If I No, week 7 was the road game. Week 7 was the Saints. But anyway, doesn't matter. I mean, we'll get to the win total at the end of the day.
Do
So
they do the schedule release tonight? You know, the one that
yeah,
does all the graphics and stuff.
they did.
Oh,
It
they've
was
already
like
done
all
that.
time. Yeah. If you want, you can
Okay.
put the video. You can like step aside for a minute. Go ahead and watch it and let me know what you think.
Well, no. So, Jaquette, I told you I got about 20. I'm gonna have to jump off real quick. I got a very pregnant wife, and I've got we're renovating the house. I've got a lot of stuff going on. But what I'd
It's
like to
understandable.
do is, if we can, well, maybe do a show next week or something. We can continue, right?
Sure,
We actually have a hard copy of the schedule. Would you want to
sure.
do that?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm completely understandable.
Okay. Let's plan on that. Just shoot me a note what time works best for you next week, and then that way we can revisit this. We're halfway through the season. I like where you're at. Will I pick a loss? I guess that's the question right now. Will I pick a loss? So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it sounds good to me, man.
Sure. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good
Hey,
night.
you too.